Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent's gone first and changed 3 tiles. I do not have a bingo with this rack. I would like to split up the duplicate T. I've got the P for score. Now, I'm agonising between playing Pont and Potted. Pont for 12. Potted for 24. I think I'll go for the extra score, even though I'm providing floaters for my opponent, and a worse rack leave and access to a double lane. I think these moves are probably quite close, and the front S hook, of course. Pretty good, no duplicate tiles, all fairly bingo-y apart from the U. I can't see a 7-letter bingo. I've got the ing ending, and I've got the un and up beginning. Well, epigonus is good. I would need a floating S for that. My opponent's provided a J. That's no good. What about the D? No, can't see anything through that. Now I'm wondering about Pouping, P-O-U-P-E-I-N-G. I'm not going to play it. I don't feel confident enough in it. So, how can I score? Jut takes an E after it. So I could play a word beginning PE in row I, or ending PE. That would leave the U on my rack, and I'd like to get rid of that. Now, what about playing in column 7, utilising the Joe hook and placing my P next to the U? So do I have a play with OPT in it, which uses the U? No. What about ONT, which uses the U? Tricky. I could play Dupon in row F, but that's keeping EIG, which isn't a great rack leave. I could play Pouping without the E in column 4. But I don't feel particularly confident about that either. So this is a tricky rack. I suppose a play of OUP. Somewhere would leave the best rack leave, but I can't see anywhere to play that. Gosh, really, really tricky. So what does opt score? Let me have a look at this. 24 points. Not giving too much away. I'm really tempted by Pouping. Let me think this through. Is Pouping good? I know P-O-U-P-T is good, which sounds like it's a past tense. But I just don't like it. Now, what would be ideal is if I did have a bingo with this rack. Can't see one. I think I'm going to play dupe on. I do not want to keep hold of this U. 16 points. Great. I draw a blank. I have pelagic in column 4. I have elegiac in column 8 down onto the triple word square. Excellent. I should be bingoing with this rack. Do I have anything with the blank as an S? In which case I could play in column 3, making spotted, or possibly column 11. That's gone, but I still have elegiac. I spent a lot of time on my previous move, so I'm going to play this one quickly. There may be a better play than this, but it's only going to be a little bit better. I say elegiac. I think it takes an S. Elegiacs and legacies. Let's find out. Pretty awful rack. So if this comes off, I will be spared it. But if it stays on, I have to deal with it. Fortunately, from the standpoint of a 70-point lead. Now, I have punch in column 4. I'm looking to get rid of the U, split up the ends, and reduce the number of high-scoring tiles from 3 to 2. I don't have punch, I don't have the H. So, UN and 2 out of B, C, and W. That might be tricky. This is a tough rack to deal with. I've got the UW combination, which is bad. 36 points for my opponent. I think gun wax is good, but the X is slightly too high for that. The best I can do on the top of axe is NAW, which has some merit. It splits up the UW, it'll score well, and it splits up the duplicate N. Let me see what this scores. The U and N together have some synergy. Actually, that's not a terrible rack lead. But it is providing a really easy scoring spot for my opponent. I don't really want to do that. So, well, I'm wondering about unknown or unknow. Oh, well, WAN gun is good. Yeah, WAN gun. It stops one square short of a double word square, but it sorts the rack out. WAN gun for 20. Excellent. Can't immediately see a bingo with this rack, but given that I started with a B and a C, this is a lot better than it could have been. I've got the Z for score, and I've got a couple of vowels to play with. I've got zombie on my rack as a 5. So hopefully I can score well with the Z. I'm just looking at the floaters on the board to see if I have a bingo. I don't think I do. Now, can I play... Okay, nice bingo by my opponent. Renails takes a T in front. I was looking in row C to see if I could place my Z over the A of facts. Oh, well, I can, because Ox is good. So I've got Zo here. Let me see what this scores. 53. That's pretty good. I can't extend that. So... Now, what about here? Wow, yes. This is looking better. I've got Cos. 70 points. Fantastic. Can I do even better? Well, I'm just looking around to see if there's anywhere else good for the Z. There's nowhere as good, so I think that this is my spot. It's got to be OZ. Unless it... what about... Well, I could put Cozy in here, but that's not... That's worth 4 more points, but I think the I is worth keeping as it's my only vowel. I think I'm going to play this because I am a little short on time, I think. Well, I'm not short on time, but I felt that I was tarrying over some of my earlier moves. Probably just the dupe on one. Anyway, I've got another good rack. Through an O, I would have rhomboid. No O's available. My opponent doesn't provide one, annoyingly. So, is there an 8-letter play through any other floater? Is there a 7 with this rack? I don't think there's a 7. I don't have a T to put in front of Renails. There is the E of Renails, which is a useful floater. Can't see anything through that. And the C of Elegiacs is quite useful as well, given that I've got the H. But I'm not seeing a bingo. I don't think... Well, Dichrom, certainly not good. Chombrid, also not good. The S is useful because of the ISH ending. I've got bird as a sort of prefix or suffix. Bird hom. Hombrid, not good. Okay, so no bingos. How can I score well? Now, do I have anything which goes after ZA? No. Now, what about this spot above fax? I could play hob. Gets rid of 2 of my high-scoring tiles. Scores 35 points, which is good. It is opening up bingo lanes, but this board is wide open. I've only got a 16-point lead. That's annoying. But this board is so open that keeping it open is not a problem. And it's open because of the floaters in Renails and Elegiacs, the Wangun's hook, the T front hook for Renails. This is quite a hot little lane here. So sticking on this extra bit of hotness isn't a problem, and if my opponent scores highly off that, well, he's opening up row A. I don't feel great about this. I think this is too hot. 5 A's left for going in front of the H, and Ox takes a lot of floaters. It is 35 points. I've got 8.5 minutes left. I'm going to go with this. I suspect it's not best. And that's not good at all. I cannot take advantage of the hotspot I've created in row B. I do have a T for going in front of Renails, But I can't get my M on the double letter square at A4, so I don't think I can score well. Now, I'm wondering about grad item, which would be a bingo in row M, grad item. Grad item. If it's not good, I'm confusing it with something. But it's a strange sort of word to pop in my head if it's complete nonsense. Grad item. Great. My opponent has blocked that spot. And only scored 19 points. So, what to do? There are 3 T's left. This Trenail spot isn't that fabulous. Unless I can get unless either of us can get a high scoring tile on this double letter square, which is unlikely. It's just pretty much just the TH or TY. Can't see anything through the S. I haven't quite given up on finding a bingo, but I think I ought to, because I don't think there's one here. So, can I play through Ox? Ox M? Not in a good way. Now, I've got a G for going underneath Zar. Do I have anything for going underneath Ow? I have a T, but that's it. And nothing ends TG. I've only got a 30-point lead. I'm very short on time. Only 7 minutes left. So I'd quite like to play off a lot of tiles. How can I do that? Well, I could do this. Opening the board up even more. But burning off 5 tiles, increasing my chances of drawing the blank and doing my best to avoid time trouble. Only 24 points, never mind. That looks a bit better. Reframed through an R. And, yes, there's an R here which works. I've got reframed across here. I don't have it through this R. And not blocked. Fantastic. Reframed is available. That is superb. I'm only 24 points ahead, but I'm about to bingo. N-framed is good. DHO isn't. Freedman is good. That doesn't work. Defamers. Defamers here. I have a slight doubt about this, but I think it's good. Agent nouns are sometimes a bit dodgy. Let's find out. Defamers, 92 points. If this stays on, that'll be fantastic. And I have drawn a good rack. I think Mortared is good, which plays in column 13. I would have Mediator through an I. I'm slightly doubtful about Mortared, but I'm slightly doubtful about a lot of things. Can't see anything through the N. And Defamers has blocked the D as a useful floater. Through an O, I would have Moderato. Great. Defamer stays on. Eelworms, nice bingo by my opponent. There goes the last blank. I'm now only 40 points ahead. Remaining tiles not too bingo-y. Now, did I say I was going to bingo now? Mortared has been blocked. Moderate through an E. No available E. Anything, only 5 minutes left. Anything through the N? Stromed would have been good through an S. Gosh, I hope I haven't noted a bingo and then forgotten it. I've got dream across here. If Mox is good. I think it might be Moxa. Gosh. Certainly don't want to miss a bingo. I don't think moderator's got an anagram. Eelworms has blocked the C floater. Maybe I should play through here, because that is such a hot spot. Slightly reluctant to play the A because I'm giving up this spot. 30 points is good. Okay, let's see what happens. Did I have a bingo? 3 minutes left. Well, I feel I may have missed something there. Never mind. That's not great. I don't draw an A for going in front of Ha. I've got the V, which isn't a great tile. But this board is quite open. I have got a 70-point lead now. The remaining tiles suddenly look a little more bingo-y than they did before. So I'm looking for somewhere to play off my V. I've got over as a prefix, but with BTT that's not much use. I've only got 3 minutes on my clock. I can play vent across here, 22 points, so I can keep scoring, which I want to do. I can play voted down here, 27 points, that's pretty good. It's burning all my vowels. 17 tiles unseen, 10 in the bag, 7 on my opponent's rack. 10 vowels out of 17. Great, that's pretty vowel heavy. 64 points for my opponent. He is only 8 points behind now. 5 tiles in the bag, so I can play voted, which is going to leave 1 in the bag, which is ideal. Plenty of vowels left, so I shouldn't be without a vowel. 27 points will re-establish a small lead. There are no scoring tiles left. Excellent. Superb. I draw 3 vowels. 1 in the bag. I can see what my opponent's got. A pretty bingo-y selection. And so he's got diagnose down here, depending on what's in the bag. If my opponent bingos now, he wins. But that is completely out of my hands. Well, yeah, I diagnose 83. He's now 48 points ahead. Do I have a comeback bingo? Almost certainly not, just to manage expectations. There's the floating N of tree nails. Can't see anything through that. What about the E? Nothing there. What other floaters are available? Not very much. Okay, I think this is a lost game. Just still looking at the E and the N as my only hopes of winning this. Or the R. Can't see anything there. I've got 1.5 minutes left. My opponent's got an I. He can definitely play. He can play AI here or IO here. So he is going out. One minute left. So what should I do? Well, probably Buntier plays off a whole bunch of tiles. May not be best, but I have no winning plays at this point, I think, unless I've overlooked a bingo. So just wait for my opponent to go out, which he does. Click pass to end the game. And the final score, 445 to me, 477 to my opponent, a winning margin of 32 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. And it was my opponent to go first. He changed. And this was my rack. I played potted and considered pont, but I think potted is fine. My opponent's rack. He played jut. And my rack. Whoops, let's go back and see what I could have done. Up, gone. Palping was good without the E. So I think palping is what I would have liked to have played, but up, gone. Well, up, gone's placing the U here, so palping I think was the play there. I played Dupon, and this was my opponent's rack. He played Hive, and I had Elegiacs for 83. I could have got one more point by playing Algesic down here, but Elegiacs is better because putting an A next to the double letter square is not good. And plenty of other bingos. My opponent's rack. He played Fax. Bad rack for me. I played Wan Gun, but look at the rack leaves down here. They're all awful, so I prefer Wan Gun. Great rack for my opponent. Here were his choices, and he played Renails. Now I had the Z. I played Cos for 70. That looks best. Horrible rack for my opponent. He played Chin. Now, this looked a promising rack. I couldn't see a bingo. N2. Rhombic across here. That would have been pretty good. 44 points. Instead, I played Hob for 35. Much better rack leave, but I'm setting up a really hot spot in row B, which I was punished for later. So Rhombic was the play. Not good for my opponent, but he looks like he made a pretty good move with Yer. This was my rack, and C13. Oh, Harem and Hiver. That's pretty good. It scores 24 points, and it kills the hotness, or reduces the hotness of this row. Instead, I played Digit for 24. Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty good as well. Yate for my opponent. I had Defamers for 92, which put me in a good position. Not good enough. This was my opponent's rack. He came straight back with Eelworms for 74. He could have got 90 for Co-Wheels or Cow Heels. Now, this is the business end of the game. I've got a 40-point lead. I've got a great rack. Did I miss a bingo? Ouch, Democrat. Oh, wow. Look at that. That would have played across here, and it would have secured the win. I didn't see that at all, and that would have been fantastic. I could also have got 50 for moted at N2. Oh wow, across here 50 points. Well, that would also have been very good. What did I do? Mead for 30. Pathetic. Okay, well, a missed opportunity there. This was my opponent's rack. He got 64 for chorus, which was good. At this point, I have got a lead of 8 points. H1. Gosh, didn't consider that extension. B spotted. 42. It wouldn't have been enough. My opponent at this point is sitting with diagnose on his rack. I'm not sure any of these options block that. What did I do? Well, I played voted for 27. Yeah. And then my opponent was able to go out with diagnose, but he also had ganoins through this end, so nothing I could do about that if he knew both of those. And finally, did I have a bingo with this rack? No, I didn't. I could have got 41 for biter across here. I just didn't consider this this hotspot, but it's pretty good. 41 points. That would have taken me to 462, so I would have lost by a smaller margin. So Bunty is significantly inferior. So pretty exciting game, high scoring, and there's always so much on the board. It doesn't matter how much attention you pay to the board, there's always stuff you miss. I missed the Democrat word, and also really the lane. I didn't give much thought to the C as a floater in a bingo. I also missed the hotness of this 5-letter lane here, which I could have played in, and I also missed the front extension of spotted. But this isn't unusual. Things like this happen in all games. It's just really hard to spot everything, and you shouldn't be discouraged for not spotting it. Just be glad that you're playing a game which has so much depth and richness. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that game and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.